Thanks very much, Keith. It's a pleasure to be here at Cadwell on this Bank Holiday Monday. It's just starting to cloud over, a few pessimistic faces here. At this track, it takes luck and a whole lot of guts to get round here. One man who knows about that is the man on pole, Leon Haslam. Leon, you've been flying around here this weekend.
Yeah, it's been looking good. Test times, qualifying times, done a lot of work on race setup, so hopefully we can turn it into a win.
It's always important to be on pole, but especially at tracks like Cadwell where you don't really want somebody in front of you.
Yeah, definitely need the start here. It's going to be hectic the first few laps, it already is around here, so somehow settling into it. I feel I've got a good race pace, so hopefully at the end we'll be first across the line.
Okay, well, best of luck. Let's speak to second place man, Tommy Hill, who's matched his best qualifying. Tommy, how are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. You know, they've got all to lose, I've got all to gain so far, so it's exactly what we need to be on the front row of the grid and where we should be with Team Virgin Mobile Samson. Rob Mack's got a smile on his face now, as well as my mechanics as well, so hopefully I can keep the smile on their face throughout the weekend.
Your bike seems different to the others around here. It just seems to ride differently. Why is that?
It's hard work, to be honest. You know, we've been struggling a bit this year to get the bike to turn, but around here it's really hard work. You know, the first 8 laps are going to be, you know, it's just basically a matter of sorting your place out, where you are, and getting settled down really. And hopefully I can stick with Leon. Leon's going well this weekend, but we've both been doing pretty consistent race times as well. So just got to give him my best. What
do you think of this track? It's pretty quirky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's up and down. It's really hard work as well. As I say, you know, we've been struggling with a little bit of, you know, stability and turning with the bike, but hopefully we've got that sorted now for the race. And I'm looking forward to it. It's an 18-lap race around here. It's really hard work. I've been training hard as I can with Dave Richardson at Lifeline Gym. You know, I've been putting on my all, and hopefully that'll pay off today.
Yeah, hope so. Let's go around and speak to Leon Haslam, poleman's teammate Gregorio Lavia, who's third in the championship. He's been having a great time over the past couple of weeks. Gregorio, what did you think the first time you came to Cadwell Park?
Well, it's I think this question, I don't know how many people have asked, but it's nice to be here on the track. The layout, it's very nice. It's a bit narrow. I'm not used to this kind of tracks, but it's when you are going fast, then you feel that it's a very nice track.
2 wins from the last 3 races. Your confidence must be very high.
Yeah, it's the thing. It's we are getting better with the bike and the team, and we are every time the things are more clear what to use and what to do during the practice and the race, and that's good.
Leon's on pole. You're still with a shout of the championship. Are there any team orders?
Not yet, no.
Okay, thanks very much. Let's grab a word with Carl Harris. If you want to see a man fly over this mountain, look for Johnny Ray, but also look for Carl Harris. Let's grab a word with him. Carl, how are you feeling?
Yeah, not too bad.
Just saying, you flying over the mountains, a sight to be seen.
Yeah, I enjoy it over there, so good fun, eh?
Thoughts for today?
Oh yeah, I mean, just try and get a podium. Just go and have fun out there.
Okay, have a good one. Let's, if we come around the back, it's such a tight grid, this one. We were saying about that. You can actually see there's not much room between these bikes at all. James Hayden, Michael Rutter there. Let's grab a quick word with him. Michael, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just a long way back here, but oh well, just see what we can do.
You've got good form round. You won here last year.
Yeah, that's it, you know. So hopefully we can make it work again. We just need to beat Lavia and Keogh really, and those are 2 I've got to look out for.
Okay, best of luck. Getting tangled up with a Honda bike. I'm sure Neil Tuxworth won't thank me for that. Let's move round, because when we get back to the third row of the grid, and it is quite a long way back here, we've got some of the big guns. We've got John Reynolds here on the Suzuki. We've got Kianari. But the guy who's out-qualified them is the privateer from the West Country, James Buckingham. James, how are you feeling?
Yeah, not too bad. Third row again, so you know, give it my best shot, try and mix it with the big boys and see how we get on.
You've had a great qualifying though. You've out-qualified Keogh, you've out-qualified JR.
Yeah, you know, the plan was to get as high as I could. I was on the second row after the first session, and that's where I wanted to stay, but Greg went a little bit faster, and so did Hayden right at the end. So, you know, I think on race tyres I can match the pace of the boys up the front and see if I can get a good result.
Okay, well, have a good one. It's been a fantastic season so far for James Buckingham. He's really going for a job application, I think, this afternoon. It's probably the politest way to say it. We've got a great day's racing coming for you.
Guys are track cleaning as well. Who's going to make the whole shot into turn 1 first? It's Coppice Corner they head towards. Great start from Leon Haslam. Leon Haslam gets away, but look at this. Who's it going to be?
Tommy Hill.
Oh, it's Tommy Hill. Tommy Hill. Leon sweeps across. Tommy Hill in second place. Glenn Richards in third place on bike 75. And that is Johnny Ray's in amongst that lot on the Red Bull Rookies bike. Steve Plater's there, it looks like to me as well.
That looks like John Kirkham, is it? John Kirkham?
It is John Kirkham, you're right, it wasn't Steve Plater at all. It looks like one of the Hydrex bikes as well, and I wasn't sure which one that was. So up into Coppice Corner, so often they get tripped into there on the first lap.
Flyer for Leon Haslam. He just had the nice line into turn 1 there, the nice wide line, sweeping line, but Tommy Hill's going to practice that.
Let's take a look at this at the ball. Big trip there. Look at this, he's got his hands off the handlebars on the Hydrex bike. I don't know where that's gone.
I'm not sure that was a Hydrex
No,
bike. It
you're
looked like a
probably
Kawasaki.
right. You might have been right. Safety car out. No, it was an AIM Yamaha, so that was Chris Burns, was it, that's gone off there. Safety car has been deployed out onto the track. So we have had an incident-packed situation. Johnny Ray's bike being pushed away
No,
there.
that's not Johnny Ray. That is a Honda, but it's not Johnny Ray.
Go on then, give me the info.
Well, it's a blue Honda, but it's not Johnny Ray. That's all I know.
65 Johnny Ray is just there, so it's you're right. That'll do for me. You're absolutely right. It wasn't Jonathan Ray. We're going to have to guess exactly who it is at this point in time.
It wasn't Steve Brogan, was it?
It was Brogy, because there is Brogy on the left. And Big John Kirkham talking with him. So Steve Brogan is down. Finally we get there and identify the blue motorcycle that was in the middle of that melee. They're already out of the hairpin, coming down towards Barn Corner.
Great start there for James Buckingham. Look at him, he's in the top 10, right behind Michael Rotta there, number
56, yep. So a lot of work to do. Pace car, of course, has been deployed. So the Audi will be out on track. Haslam, at the moment, will come up behind the pace car, and they will all form up behind him. Haslam, Hill, Richards, Lavia is your top 4 at the moment. Carl Harris dropping back a little bit into 5th place. Michael Rudder 6th. James Buckingham, as Neil's already pointed out, in 7th place. The best of the privateers, and he's not doing bad among the works boys either. Behind him, Dean Thomas, number 12. 6, Ryoichi Kianari in 9th place. Ben Wilson on the Vivaldi Kawasaki in 10th place. James Hayden back in 11th place. Jonathan Ray on bike 65 in 12th place. John Reynolds back in 13th place on bike number 1. So that is how it looks at the moment. Steve Plater is down in 19th place, so he obviously got caught up in that somehow.
The guy's railing round, just trying to keep the tyres up to temperature.
New chicane for last year, just to slow them down into this next section at the bottom of the mountain, as it's known. Tight left, then right, then a big launch up and over the hill and on towards Hall Bends. I love this racetrack. I like driving here, I like riding here.
Well, there is nowhere like it anywhere else in the world.
Hall Bends, I love the little banking that they have on all the turns here as well. You can just dig the motorcycle in, apart from Barn, which is a bit of an awkward one, that's for sure. Well, we're at Barn now.
It's like you were just saying, the corners are quite cambered, quite banked when you walk around and have a look at them. So the inside of the corner is the place to be, you get that effect.
Well, the safety car is scheduled to come in at the end of this lap. We are on lap 3 of 18. So the safety car lights are out. And the safety car will pull in, and then it is down to Leon Haslam. He will have control of how fast he wants to restart this race. It's awkward here because you're coming out of Barn, it's an off-camber corner. The safety car will pop into pit lane virtually just out of that Barn corner, and that makes it quite difficult for Leon to get a proper drop. He's got to anticipate the car going in. He needs to back them all up,
yes,
really, and give himself plenty of room behind the pace car.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because none of them, they're not allowed to pass him before they get to start-finish line. So if he backs up there, gets his bike up right there, and that keeps it safe, and then he can dictate the drive that he gets on to start-finish.
Look at Tommy Hill, me and my shadow. Tommy Hill, well, you've got to say, Rob Mack and the Virgin Mobile team, they only live up the road here. It's their home, as it is for the HM Plant Honda team as well. They're only based at Louth as well. So really, a lot riding on local interest here at the moment. But Tommy Hill, you've got to wish for Tommy Hill, haven't you? He really has had a torrid old year, and he's really become very, very frustrated to try and get a quick time in, to try and get a great race in. This could be his opportunity.
Well, I have to say that he hasn't put a foot wrong all weekend. He really has played Cadwell Park perfectly. Just building up through practice. It's not the kiss of death. It's not the kiss of death, Tommy Hill. But Tommy Hill has done a good job this weekend, just building on it. But I've got to say, from day one, the bike has looked good, and that's given them confidence. So the combination is just fantastic.
But of course, the preparation for this race has all been put back by a few minutes. It's been a very difficult start to our day. We with that accident on the start of the 125 race, right on the start line. The Superbike guys in full view of all the teams. Wasn't a particularly nice incident at all. Well, I have to say, Leon has gone a bit too close to that pace car, and he's going to overtake the pace car now. There's the pace car gone in. Leon didn't do that in the way that I expected him to, but it hasn't cost him.
No passing there into turn one. Leon Haslam, I think, timed that pretty well.
Yeah, I think that despite what I was saying, I think he's got it absolutely bang on right as they go up through Charlie's corner, a double right-hander, the second apex absolutely blind, and then onto the park straight down in the dip and up the other side towards Park Corner. And you can see how narrow this track looks.
Lavia down the inside of Richards.
Oh yes, what a great move.
Nice pass.
Right, but it won't matter. Richards won't get under him into Chris Curve.
He was thinking about it, but not quite close enough. That Ducati drove really nicely out of park.
Grunts all the way through Chris Curve. Used to be called Donington Curve, you know.
Did it really? Well, that was before my time.
Not much, though, I have to tell you. Down to Mansfield Corner now.
I know Rob Max told Tommy Hill, just settle down, just see what's happening. Top 5 is fine. Just see, make sure you settle down and get into a rhythm.
I'll tell you what, Neil. Airwaves Ducati, well, if Lavia can get on terms with his teammate, I wonder if team orders will come into play at any stage, because really Lavia is in with a chance of winning this championship. You've got to say that Leon mathematically isn't out of it yet. There's 200 points still available in this championship to the end of the year.
There is, but Lavia is the one, and if it depends how crucial that championship is for him. I'm sure it's very important, but I would hate to think there was any team orders. I'd love to see Leon do a bit of winning this weekend and just race the race properly.
There's that bruiser. He is, of course, Carl Harris. Don't fight with him. Not a man to be messed with. He's in 5th place on bike number 9. The yellow and red bike. It's the Dunlop-backed Honda Racing.co.uk backed motorcycle, and this is Carl Harris back at what we have expected him to do for some considerable time. He's had a lot of beatings this year. He's had to get over them, but looking good in 5th place at the moment as a pass comes from Lavia into Park. Yes, he does. That was class again, wasn't it?
Lavia's been practicing his passing spot, and that's very strong. He's safe. He gets really deep on the brakes into there, but turns it tight and manages to get off the corner as well. Now he's got a clear track between himself and his teammate.
Only lap 5 of 18, but now we've got to talk about, as they flop through the gooseneck, as it's called, we've got to really look at where the HM Plant Hondas are. Rutter is back in 6th place. That doesn't score very many points. Lavia could be right with them. There's only 30 points between Lavia and championship leader Michael Rutter, and at the moment Lavia is heading for a full house 25.
30 points between Lavia and Rutter. Yeah, this is going to make a significant difference. I'll get my pen out in a minute and work out some points.
25 for a win, 20 for 2nd place, 16 for 3rd, 13, and then it goes down to 11, 10, 9, 8, all the way down to 1 point if you want to work it out at home and keep an eye on what's going on. 91 leads, that's Haslam, Leon Haslam, followed by his teammate 36, Gregorio Lavia, the Spaniard, behind him. Number 8, Tommy Hill, then it's 75, Glenn Richards, almost got talking about Glenn Richards, a lovely fella. The Australian really enjoying himself here at Cadwell Park, says the bike is doing everything he wants it to do. Yellow flag up into Coppice, so obviously a bit of a problem there.
Yellow flag, so no passing.
Nothing at Charlie's, all the way through Charlie's double right-hander now. This is where Lavia builds all the way along the Park Straight. Wonder what he'll do with his teammate. He's a bit far, well, is he far back? No, he isn't. Got good drive out of Charlie's onto that straight, but he's in no hurry, is he? He's got to conserve his tyres as well.
He certainly has, and Lavia wasn't as strong as Leon through practice, but very last session yesterday towards the end I noticed Lavia going out behind Haslam, whether that was a team thing or it was just timing, but he put his fastest lap in following Leon round. So Leon's obviously very confident here, but Lavia watches, looks, learns, and you can see he's sitting behind Leon and he's sitting there very comfortable and matching Leon's pace at the moment.
Number 17, Tristan Palmer on the Vivaldi Kawasaki is out. Number 56 is under observation, possible technical problem. 56 is, of course, our very favoured James Buckingham on the Key Gary Suzuki. So James Buckingham, the leading privateer, who's in 8th place at this particular point, is finding himself under observation. What that will amount to in a moment, I don't know. Flip-flop through the hall bends. I love this section. So slow. Then we're at the hairpin, bottom gear, out to the white line. Jonathan Palmer and his group, when they took over this Cadwell Park track, they widened the track just there, just made it nice and easy. So if you do slip off, you're not straight into the barrier. They thunder past our commentary position. We're in that porter cabin. driving, you see just there a salubrious type area that we live in, Neil.
And no expense spared for us. But yeah, Jonathan Palmer has done a fantastic job here, and so far this weekend, very much incident-free because the track is safe now. There's plenty of runoff. He's made some very important modifications and improved things again this year. The track's looking immaculate. Everybody takes pride at Cadwell Park now, and everything working really well.
I think he's pacing himself, Neil, don't you? He looks comfortable behind Leon, and these two easing away from Tommy Hill. Perhaps they don't consider Tommy Hill to be much of a threat on the Virgin Mobile bike, but they might get a shot the way that young man's been riding this week.
Well, Tommy Hill is sitting there and he looks very comfortable. He's not having any moments. He's watching these guys, and these guys have both won races this year. Tommy Hill having, I'd say, the best ride of his career. He's certainly at the most confident. After that Castlecombe win about a month ago, he's just building and building, and Cadwell Park, Tommy Hill has come good.
91 is Leon Haslam, 36 is Gregorio Lavia. Behind them is number 8, Tommy Hill on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha. Then the green Kawasaki, the Hawk Kawasaki of Glenn Richards, number 75. And behind them is Carl Harris on bike number 9, the HondaRacing.co.uk sponsored bike with Dunlop. And then back to 6th place, number 2, Michael Rudder. This is your top 5. Michael Rudder is a mile behind them. Michael Rudder leads the championship.
And you've got to say, if these 5 stay on, Michael Rutter's best position can be 6 at this stage. There's no way he's going to catch Carl Harris in 5th.
Well, I make that 10 points for Michael Rutter. So if Lavia wins this, he'll gain 15 points out of the 30 that Rutter leads at this point in the championship.
Halfway there to gaining that championship lead. And Kianari, where is he?
Oh, he's miles down. Kianari at the moment. He's in 8th place. He's behind Dean Thomas on bike 12. Just in front of James Buckingham, the privateer.
8 points for 8th, is that right?
Yep, go with that.
James Buckingham, fantastic, right? Maybe there's some smoke coming off his bike at the moment. It looks like he's been given a reprieve, so there's no observation signals. There's no one looking at his bike. Next best privateer, Danny Beaumont down there in 16th.
Yeah, but put James Buckingham in perspective. I know we're not seeing him at the moment. We're looking at the Leon Lavia battle at this moment in time. But Buckingham is front of James Hayden, Johnny Ray, John Reynolds, Gary Mason, Steve Plater, and Sean Emmett. That is a gaggle of some great names.
It's just incredible what he's doing. So impressive. He's got a K4 GSXR Suzuki 1000. Very limited budget. I think the bike has good power, but of course he doesn't have the tyres, he doesn't have the budget. He's just doing a brilliant job, and he brings it home most weekends.
This is your top 5 at Hall Bends. 91, Leon Haslam goes through with his teammate on the airway Ducati, under attack from Tommy Hill. Gregorio Lavia is by 36, he's in 2nd place. 3rd is still Tommy Hill on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha. Then it's the Hawk Kawasaki 75 of Glenn Richards, the Australian, followed by that big burly Sheffield bod called Carl Harris.
Tommy Hill's enjoying this. I can see a big smile on there. Tommy Hill's really enjoying it. I think first few laps he's fairly tentative, just getting into the rhythm. Now you can see he's really enjoying it, and you can see he can pull back. He can certainly sit comfortable behind the 2 areas Ducatis, but he's really enjoying this.
Well, I better tell you as well, Yukio Kagayama is the Superbike lap record holder here. Well, now Gregorio Lavia is 128.591 is the new lap record here, and Lavia just looks like he can plant that Airwave Ducati anywhere he wants, but corner speed is us, and that was Tommy Hill flying in there on the front brake.
Tommy Hill at Gregorio Lavia's favourite corner.
I'll tell you what, Tommy Hill, the wonderful thing about a young underdog is they're learning every yard of every track they go to, and he's just feeling his way. You're right, he's going to be absolutely enjoying himself, and those boys in front, underestimate them at their peril.
Well, Tommy Hill really has come good this weekend with the Virgin Yamaha. That R1 starting to work well. I'm so pleased for Rob Mack and his team, because they've had a big drought this season. Things have been tough, but we've stuck with Tommy Hill. We've got faith in Tommy Hill, and it's really just about getting his makeup fine-tuned, or the makeup of his riding, his ability, just getting it fine-tuned, getting him through the weekend without any slip-ups, and he's looking good at the moment.
Well, we look at the front 5. I can tell you that Kianari is on the move. He's up to 6th place now. He's overtaken Michael Rutter, Dean Thomas, James Hayden. James Buckingham has slipped back to 10th place overall, but still the leading privateer. So there's a great battle going on back in 6th place. Kianari is now trying to bridge the gap between himself and these top 5 riders.
Well, at this point, Gregorio Lavia has overtaken Ryuichi Kianari in the championship.
Ryuichi Kianari is going to be looking to take this championship himself. I think Michael Rutter is going to find himself in deep trouble after Cadwell Park.
Well, Michael Rutter is only 1/10 of a second in front of Dean Thomas, so you've got to think Dean Thomas on the Hawk Kawasaki is going to have a go.
So, Leon Haslam, the 2 Airwaves Ducati. Well, Colin Wright said that they started this season looking to win the championship. I think he was, of course, pulling my leg, because I don't remember him saying that right at the beginning of the year. He might have harboured a wish that that was possible. I don't think anybody thought at the beginning of the year these two Ducatis would be quite as on the pace as they are with the, when you think about the flying HM plant Hondas. I mean, they are full factory Hondas, the very latest kit. And, well, I didn't think the Ducatis would be capable of beating everything.
Well, there's a lot of the paddock had written off the Ducati. And to be fair, Colin Wright said, we've been out of the British Championship for a few years, we don't know what level it's at. It's new to us, and we're starting again, and we're just going to see what happens. I'm sure at the back of it, they're a winning team. They won 2 British Superbike Championships before. Catapulted riders into the World Superbike Championship with Troy Bayliss, Neil Hodgson and James Tosland. So they're a race-winning team, they're a championship-winning team. But things are built, they've got stronger and stronger. But as Colin Wright says, the secret this weekend is Dunlop. Dunlop have been working so hard, managed to get all their teams into some good testing, make some good progress. They've got some good product here, and this weekend there's no question the Michelins are struggling.
James Tosland is, of course, here watching the two Ducatis perform. Leon Haslam out front, Gregorio Lavia behind him, being chased down by Tommy Hill. Bit of a bobble into Park there. Just a little bump as you tip in to Park Corner, I noticed when I was out there watching the other day. One that just unsettles the motorcycle at the end of your braking run, just as you tip it into the Park Corner. But Gooseneck now, dropping down the hill towards Mansfield Corner. Haslam on a nice tight line, just backs it in very gently into Mansfield. Nicely banked corner, and then onto this new chicane, put in the middle of this little straight to try and slow the riders down into the bottom of the mountain, which is next up, next left-hander. Chianari put in his fastest lap of the race in the last race, still not matching these front runners though.
That's just what I was going to say. Chianari is actually doing decent lap times, but of course he's got that 4.5 second gap to Harris. Pretty difficult to close that gap, even with Chianari's ability. Certainly this weekend it's going to be difficult. Tommy Hill just flicking that Yamaha R1 around, looking great.
You were looking at Tommy Hill, I was looking at Haslam. Haslam loves that bit up through Hall Bends. Look at the amount he pulls out his teammate up through there.
He's stronger than Lavia through there, there's no question.
But it's not an area you make up a serious amount of time, is it? Or make a pass.
Maybe not a pass. There's some brave manoeuvres in the past going into Barn Corner and going into that hairpin, but look, he's got a gap on Lavia now. This is the biggest gap we've seen. Maybe Leon's conserving his tyres. He's certainly been so confident all weekend and had almost half a second on the opposition for most of the practices, but now he's pulled the gap and maybe he's just pulling the pin. Maybe he thinks, right, it's time to go.
I can't believe we're already on lap 12 of 18. Normally I'm wondering when it's going to end, but I've got to say that this race is going very, very quick on the 2.1 mile track.
You see Carl Harris there having a look at Glenn Richards. He was thinking about an outbreaking manoeuvre into the Park Corner, but not quite close enough.
Still James Buchanan, the best of the privateers, in 10th place at the moment. Danny Beaumont still 3rd in the privateer battle.
Some serious problems for Rizla Suzuki's John Reynolds. He's way down in 19th.
I didn't dare mention them. I didn't dare mention them. I have to say, Rizla Suzuki have just not got it quite together. James Hayden is in 9th place on bike 18 at the moment, but 10 seconds behind the leaders. And James Hayden, he seems to have been up and down the full scale of suspension set up on these Rizla Suzukis at the moment. James, whoa, great shot there at Carl Harris.
Carl Harris gets the most air over the mountain. And normally big air over there costs you time, but Carl Harris has got the best of both worlds over there. He really does a good job over the mountain.
Well, also, if you're not smooth over the mountain, you make the bike jerk from side to side, make the old chain slap, the chain jumps off quite often because the suspension is hanging in the frame, and quite often that's when the chain is at its loosest. And Carl Harris having a good look now. Glenn Richards. Glenn Richards is under attack from Carl Harris.
He certainly is.
Gregorio Lavia is under attack from Tommy Hill.
Yeah, great to see, but Tommy, I'm sure, would be over the moon with the rostrum, his first rostrum on the Yamaha.
Tommy Hill, though, is going to be looking to try and take the points away from Lavia if he can. Michael Rudder will be paying him at the end of the day if he does, because 20 points is what Lavia sits on at the moment. Looking for where Rudder is. He's in 7th place. Not good for him. He is losing traction as far as his championship is concerned. We're at Chris Curve now. Power on, power on, power on. You're always on your side, then you're into a braking area that is the gooseneck, just there while it's heeled right over on the front end. Then it's a flop down the hill towards Mansfield. Superb part of the track. You really have to have the motorcycle working well for you and have a tremendous amount of confidence as well.
John Reynolds must have made a mistake. He's suddenly gained 4 places, so back to 15th. He must have been off the track, or at least run wide at one of the corners.
Well, I misidentified Steve Plater and Jonathan Ray in that early lap incident. Well, they're both off now at the top of the mountain. So Steve Plater and Jonathan Ray have just fallen.
That's the main reasons for John Reynolds' progress. It was riders going down as opposed to riders he was passing.
So riders okay, I can tell you. That's our information. So Lavia has a new lap record at the moment. He's in 2nd place. And just when we say that Leon Haslam looks the best up through the mountain section, Lavia puts him into a place where he's at the shoulder of Leon Haslam. Perhaps he's starting to hear that Yamaha behind him. And maybe Lavia's got the bit of the hurry up. These three now well and truly broken away from Glenn Richards and Carl Harris.
Tommy Hill looking at a safe rostrum here.
Well, he is, but I would think the youngster is looking for a win. When you're this close, I tell you.
Well, why not? 3 years ago in the R6 Cup race, Tommy Hill was mega aggressive all the way down to the last lap between the hairpin and bar. He did a bit of barging and took the win, and it was a questionable move, but it just showed his determination to win, and why not do it in a Superbike race?
Well, Rob Mack, I saw him in the paddock just before we came on air. He came and had a chat with us when we started our programme. I am sure I saw a grey hair, and it will be getting greyer because Tommy Hill is all over the rear end of Gregorio Lavia. Carl Harris, I can tell you, is dropping back a little bit. In fact, Carl Harris is behind Chianari. Chianari has gone in front of Carl Harris for 5th place now. It's all happening. I don't know what the problem is with Carl Harris, but Chianari has now overtaken Harris. Glenn Richards is out on his own in 4th place. These are your top 3. Look at all that dirt at the bottom of the mountain. That must have been the Plater Jonathan Ray incident.
Well, that's certainly going to help Chianari's championship. He's not going to lose so many points to Lavia.
Oh, here comes Tommy Hill's going to have a go. He's going to have a go at that hairpin, I'm sure. He's going to ram out the inside of Lavia, and the Spaniard is going to have to really fight then.
Well, I think Lavia's thinking about a move in Leon Haslam. If he can get close enough to Leon Haslam, going through Charlie's onto the back straight, I'm sure he'll think about that passing manoeuvre into car.
Gregorio Lavia was in the Airway Ducati hospitality yesterday, cheering on Sete Gibernau. Sete, of course, breaking down on the very last lap of that MotoGP and giving Valentino Rossi a huge win and an even huger lead in the championship. 132 points, can't believe it. But meanwhile, Lavia, now he's doing the business today. It's a difficult situation when you're on about the same pace as your teammate at the front of the race and you're going for the championship. He's going to be keen to grab those 5 extra points for the race win. But how hard do you push, Neil?
You push as hard as you can. I reckon Leon might even have a little bit left. He's very confident, very comfortable. I'm not sure where Gregorio can pass because there's a bit of a seesaw effect this race. Leon's quicker at some of the sections through Hall Bends, through the hairpin. But Lavia catches up round here.
I tell you what, that Yamaha turns nice, doesn't it, as well? As Tommy Hill seems to have real confidence in the front end of that bike. It's going to be interesting to see if he can get close, which he hasn't. If he could get close into the hairpin, I reckon he'd have a ram up the inside of Gregorio Lavia.
He does need to be very, very close, but yeah, you're right, the Yamaha does look like it's got pin-sharp handling this weekend. He's
Haslam, Lavia, Hill. This is your top 3. Look how close it is then. We're on lap 15 of 18. Still a little way to go yet. Barn corner, off camber here. Asking for the throttle all the way through this as it sits down towards the edge of the track. It's one of the few corners on this track that's just, it's not a negative camber, but it's a very flat camber coming out of there and can catch you out when you're in a bit of a scurry to the line. Haslam, Lavia, Hill and Richards have gone over the line. Chianari is still in 5th place. Harris is still in 6th place. Michael Rutter should be in 7th place. He is. He's just 2/10 in front of Dean Thomas, who's in 8th place at the moment. James Hayden is 9th and James Buckingham, the first of the privateers, in 10th. That's how it looks at the minute. Those are the distances from your race leader to the right of your screen. Lap 16 of 18.
Top 3 riders all on exactly the same lap time on that last lap, 1:28.8.
It's got to be a push and shove towards the end of this race. I cannot believe these 3 men, as competitive as they are, is going to let it finish in this order if they can do anything about it. Tommy Hill, to me, looks like he's having a right old line-up for this. Surely he's going to try one into... He's got a nice wide line coming in. He takes almost classic lines, whereas the 2 Ducatis seem to want to turn and squirt as quick as they can.
Yeah, that Yamaha turns nice and tight. He certainly doesn't lose any speed mid-corner, and like you said, the front end of that bike looks really planted. The front end of R1 Yamaha working brilliantly.
This is where he needs to be close to Lavia. If he can be close to Lavia, up into Hall Bends, he can get the flip-flop through Hall Bends,
Yep.
through the right, through the left,
Yep.
and he's right there with him now. Is he going to try and run at him up into the hairpin here? That's round the outside. It's an easy move if he can do it. That's very close, and I believe that's where Tommy's going to have a go.
It is easy if you're good at it, but it's a brave manoeuvre as well, and he really has to be confident, but he has to be super close.
I can tell you, Mick Grant put me right over the barrier there when he did it to me.
Yeah, I just can't bear to watch it. Tommy Hill, he's like the tail of the dog there, wagging at the back, just hanging on.
So, still Leon Haslam, still only, what, 22 years old. It's a little bit scary how young he is, considering how long he's been around and the motorcycle he's ridden. But he's come on good, and he can do what? With his second win of the year in British Superbikes. I scurry for me.
Lavia!
Yeah, it had to come, didn't it? At Park, it was classic. It's where he went. Is he going to run wide and then Haslam under him? No, Lavia's just too good for that.
Well, he's just super smooth and gapped him at the same time. He really timed that to perfection. Tommy Hill might have a chance with Leon now.
This will be Lavia's fourth win if he can, and will Tommy Hill mug him? It's a question of whether Lavia's gone a little early. I have to say that Lavia has given Haslam every chance to have a go back at him. We're on to lap 17 of 18, and there's this half a lap for Haslam to just settle back down behind Lavia.
Well, Leon Haslam's got so much knowledge around this Cadwell Park race circuit, and this is where Leon could really spring a surprise. Lavia won't really know where Leon can have a go, but it's going to be very interesting. And Leon, he's been so strong all weekend, he's not going to give it up at this point.
I'll tell you something else that you can't see on our screen, but I will tell you about it. James Hayden on the Rizla Suzuki is catching Michael Rudder hand over fist. He's just a tenth of a second behind Michael Rudder. That's the battle for 7th and 8th place. While we look at this three-way scrap for a race win. Lavia, is he going to go to his 4th race win? Is it going to be Leon Haslam's 2nd, or is it going to be Tommy Hill's 1st of the year? In fact, 1st of his career, I should say, shouldn't I, for Tommy Hill?
1st of his career, but Tommy Hill, if he finishes where he is, he hasn't done a bad day's work. He's done a brilliant day's work, and the team will be over the moon. Look at Haslam's
going to
close
have a
enough.
go. He's looking for the drive if he can. Out through Charlie's curve onto the Park straight now. Haslam's going to look for a braking manoeuvre on Park. He's going to go straight up the inside. Will it be Lavia that's got the... Oh, Lavia.
I think Haslam's wide. I think Tommy's going to win.
Dear me.
Tommy Hill's going to
win. Tommy Hill is going to win this race. Lavia has been taken out by Leon Haslam. Tommy Hill, Rob McElnay is going to be doing a Rob Mac jig in the pit lane. Tommy Hill, hold it together, Tommy. His first British Superbike win is coming his way. He is a graduate of the R6 Cup. Well, it's been a long time coming for Virgin Yamaha. You've got to say, Virgin Mobile Yamaha. They have struggled during the beginning of the year. There is Colin Wright of Airways Ducati. He will be less than pleased with that. But his counterpart in the Virgin Mobile team has just about a quarter of a lap to go, and his counterpart will be Rob Mack, and Rob Mack is going to be the proudest man. They have their workshops just up the road, and Tommy Hill has one more bend to go. He can hardly believe it.
Well, he deserved that. He deserved it. He sat there, he worked really hard all the way through that race, and he was just in the perfect position to pick up the pieces.
Rob Mack on the podium. Here's a win for Tommy Hill, his first ever Superbike win. And the youngster from Lingfield has done the business today. He wore them down. They forced each other off the track. 2nd place went to a huge crowd here at Cadwell Park. A bit of a delayed start, but in the end it was worth waiting for. Tommy Hill taking the win by eventually 4.1 seconds from Gregorio Lavia, who was taken out onto the grass by his teammate Leon Haslam, who finished eventually in 6th place. Glenn Richards was, well, surprised perhaps to be in the podium in the end. Carl Harris coming through for 4th. Ryoichi Kianari, new lap record for him, up into 5th place in the end, but a slow 2/3 of the race for him. Haslam 6th, Hayden in 7th place, Michael Rutter down in 8th, just 8 points for that position. Dean Thomas in 9th, James Buchanan, the best of the privateers on 56. We'll be hearing from him in a moment. Gary Mason, John Reynolds, Sean Emmett, Ben Wilson, Danny Beaumont rounding out